The Economic Freedom Fighters leader Julius Malema appeared in court on Wednesday as his long-awaited sentencing hearing got underway at the Gugompo City Magistrates Court in the Eastern Cape. The proceedings, which are expected to continue into Thursday, follow his conviction in October 2025 on 5 counts under the Firearms Control Act. The charges stem from a 2018 incident in Tanzania where Malema discharged a rifle into the air during an EFF rally, an act the court later found unlawful. Prosecutors are pushing for a sentence of up to 15 years imprisonment, signaling the seriousness with which the state views the offense. The outcome of the case carries significant political weight. Should Julius Malema receive a sentence exceeding 12 months without the option of a fine, he will be disqualified from serving as a member of parliament. In a notable show of personal support, Malema's wife, Manto Malema, was present in court, making her first appearance at the East London proceedings. She arrived quietly at the courthouse, standing by her husband as the legal process unfolded. Meanwhile, Julius Malema's lawyer argued that a custodial sentence will be grossly unfair, pointing out that no one was injured when the EFF leader fired shots at the party rally in Tanzania. His senior counsel, Lawrence Hodges, argued that a fine will be a more appropriate penalty and said what we say is that we have illustrated that mere possession does not always mean there should be incarceration. Each case must be evaluated on its facts, and the facts of this case are indeed unique. The state prosecutor, Joel Caesar, has zeroed in on Malema's own testimony, quoting him, telling the court, "Don't tell me how to fire a shot. I can fire even from underneath this page if I feel to do so." He said Malema's intention was clear. He was going to do what he wanted, regardless of the danger. He told the court that the video showed people running with 7 directly in the line of fire and 20,000 surrounding the area. Malema still maintains the firearm was a toy, despite ballistic evidence providing otherwise. The state prosecutor stressed that the weapon used was an assault rifle, not a handgun, with larger, more powerful ammunition that could have had fatal consequences. He argued the courts should impose standardized sentences for firearm offenses, whether they fall under minimum or maximum sentencing regimes, and that the video evidence was the silent witness that showed everything the court needed. And that they say a picture speaks 1,000 words. This is one of those instances. He also warned the court that a non-custodial sentence would send a dangerous message. He argued it would effectively tell people it's okay if you fire shots, whether it's 1 or 2 or 22, you just get a fine. He said every case he cited in his heads of argument resulted in direct imprisonment, and that the court should impose a consistent, standardized sentence for this type of offense. Caesar is also arguing that Malema has set a dangerous precedent. He told the court that as a political leader with a massive following, young people emulate his behavior. He said Malema has opened a Pandora's box by creating the impression that firing shots in public is accepted. He pointed to the case of Bito Deputy Mayor Nokuzela Nkosi Kolwabi, who went viral in December 2025 after firing a weapon during a traditional homecoming ceremony in Kanokutula, as evidence of the pattern Malema has said, and that he is a member of parliament, a lawmaker, yet he's the one that broke the law. Caesar told the court that Malema's actions constituted extreme danger to the more than 20,000 people at the rally in Tanzania, one of the most densely populated areas in South Africa. He stressed that Malema did not fire just one shot, which might have been considered an accident, and that it was by the grace of God that nobody got hurt. There was a brief disruption from the gallery, prompting Olivia to warn those present and said, "I'm not going to ask you to be quiet. I'll order you to leave." Caesar has also hit back at the defense's reliance on the Brooks judgment, telling the court he has full bench ruling from the same division that held the exact opposite view on the firearm possession, and that it outweighs the single judge decision cited by Hodges. He added that the Supreme Court of Appeal has already dealt with the issue. Caesar confirmed the state is not relying on the Minimum Sentence Act, but on Section 121 of the Firearms Control Act, which carries a maximum of 15 years. He told the court directly that the state is seeking imprisonment. He also turned to the Constitution, citing Section 9, which guarantees equality before the law. He stated that the Constitution obliges the court to ensure no person is above the law. He told the court he will address what he calls the double-edged sword of Malema being treated equally while also being held to a higher standard as a public figure. He outlined the aims of sentencing, retributing, rehabilitation, prevention, and deterrence. He also hit back at the defense over the return of the firearm to the co-accused Adrian Snyman, who was acquitted. Hodges had earlier raised questions about the weapon being handed back. Caesar dismissed this as a storm in a teacup, telling the court that the state was fully within its rights under Section 30 and 31 of the Criminal Procedure Act to return the firearm once Snyman was found not guilty.
Until today, it still doesn't see what he did, what danger it posed, and what its consequences could have been. His position as a public leader and a role model to the young and to society. The fact that he's a lawmaker breaking the law. The fact that 2 firearms were used and live ammunition were fired. Not once, like in Oscar Pretorius, not twice, but multiple times. The degree of premeditation involved and his deliberate conduct puts him in the category for 7 to 15 years. If the court imposes a custodial sentence, it will satisfy the principles as set out in State versus Zinn. And the court will do its constitutional mandate of equal treatment before the law and will serve the legitimate and pressing interest of a society that has the right to expect that its leaders and lawmakers be subjected and to obey the same law that they are elected to uphold. That's my submission, unless there's anything else the court wants to hear me on.
Thank you. What's your take on this one, people? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more news.